significantly lower level, obviously. But like when they're like, hey, this is what we should do. I'm like, no.
Yeah, why do you say that? What
like, shut the fuck up.
Go do a set.
Yeah, don't do anything. What are you guys doing?
Yeah,
dude, like the SNL thing, like when that happened, there was all these plans. Like, this is what we need to do. I was like, definitely don't do that.
Hey,
and I'm not going on the news.
They told you not to go on stage. How great was that set we did?
They were like, definitely don't go on stage. I was like,
that's all I have.
This is the only thing that's going to make me not sad.
Yes.
And then me and Ari came on stage. It was great. It was so fun.
Night of, I was so livid because finally one of ours, finally a mainstream real comic got on that show. And like, sweet. And then they took it away. It was like a punishment for all of us. It was like when they killed Pesci, you know? And I was like, wait, he was one of our... And so then I was like, Shane, I was just livid. And I was like, get up here. Let's have fun.
Yeah. That was a cool night.
That was one of my favorite sets of that year.
Yeah, there were people there that they hit me up and they were like, dude, that was a cool thing.
Isn't it interesting, like, when things go sideways, a lot of people want you to disappear for a while.
A lot of people, not everybody. Like, the hate online is so overwhelming that you're like, I guess the world hates me. And then you go on, they're like, yeah!
Oh, as soon as you walk on stage, they're like, let's go.
Chris Rock is getting huge ovations. Like, Louis gets huge ovations. You know, it's not all real.
My first set after all that Kobe stuff happened was just a popping set. I got your intro at the upstairs of the stand, so I wasn't on the lineup. It was like a 2-minute stand, like not standing ovation, 2-minute ovation. I'm like, yes, you're here, and I'm like, oh, you're just a regular comedy fan.
Yeah,
but here's the hard part about that is because people will be like, see, cancel culture's not real. It helps. It's like, no, dude, these are people that like you. That are like, no, we still love you.
You're the minority.
And it's not like, it doesn't help, dude. Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't help.
No.
That shit sucks.
I hate the cancel culture is not real argument because they go, he's working. It's like, all right, you're using the cancel word too literally. His life is ruined. He's sad.
Yeah, dude.
He's scared. He's different now.
Yeah, you go on stage, you're looking at people whisper to each other. They're talking about the tab. Yeah, and in your head, you're like, they're saying he's explaining to her that I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
It's mentally very damaging to have hundreds of thousands of people call you an asshole.
Guys, you can't talk at the same time.
Fair.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, but we're fired up.
It's character assassination, and more than anything, it's not. You can't. Where you're canceled, you can't work. It's like, hey, you're a bad guy, and we all say how bad you are. That's canceling. It's like you suck as a guy.
Yeah, it's the Scarlet Letter. It's a public.
Dylan put a thing up on his Instagram when the Louis C.K. thing went on, and it was like how I became friends with him. He said there are a lot of mediocre talents that are chiming in on Louis C.K. to try to knock him off the high perch because they know that he possesses skill and talent as a comedian. He's so much better than they'll ever be. And so they resent him, and there's part of what's going on is like, if you look at the most violent of people that were attacking him, they're all terrible. There was like a bunch of like really mediocre comics that were going after him hard. And I was like, this is interesting. And then when Dylan said that, I'm like, of course, that's exactly what it is. He nailed it. And he was seeing it in New York at the time. He was living in New York.
Right.
And it was very hot because like Louis would come in and he would bump everybody, would go on whenever he wanted. He's the king.
He calls in. Louis calls in.
He does call in.
He does it
He would never bump. He would be on the lineup.
He does 15 and he gets off.
Beautiful.
And he does 15.
Is this now or this before?
Definitely now, maybe before.
We're talking about he used to bump people.
But even he bumped, he wasn't doing an hour.
You're right. 15. You're right. But it's not. I'm not saying it as a pejorative. It's positive. Like to see Louis C.K. at a fucking show at the Cellar is a great thing. He wasn't the guy that ran the life or did an hour and 45 minutes show.
He's there to work on a joke.
But the point is, like, these guys all had to watch that happen. When your guy shows up and everybody's like, oh, it's Louis C.K. But you wish it was you. Like, there's a thing when a comic is there and they're on their way up and they see a guy who is achieving levels of success that are probably never going to happen in their life. Yeah, he's doing giant theater shows. He's doing Madison Square Garden. He's got a show on FX. He's doing Netflix specials. This is Louis fucking C.K. And you wish you were that big and you wish you were that good. And then as soon as something happens with him, those are the ones.
Yeah, but how do you do that?
Shane and I talk about this. It's the piling on. It's the, you can't fight back. So now we're going to pile on. Yeah. Oh, I never liked the guy anyway. Exactly. It's like, what's that?
Once the green light's on you, green light isn't.
Exactly. But the thing is, you get to see those people, who they really are. That's who they really are.
Yeah.
And it's like most of them are barely comics. They're barely comics. They're just like, they're okay. You know, they can get by and the perfect night with a good crowd with some jokes that don't make us laugh, but they're existing in this world.
Yep.
They're just selling some shows and they're moving some. You know those fucking people.
Yeah.
It's never getting any better for them. You know, there's a period where they've reached peak performance for what their brain, what their spirit has to offer. That's it.
But it is.
That's all you got,
It's
bitch.
doable. Why not
So
get good? Why not try to get good?
Because they're in their own way. The same reason why they want to attack someone like Louis, not just say, "Hey, I think what he did is wrong," but like it's the attack over and over, the constant attacks on Twitter, constant attacks on social medias and blog entries by comics. A lot of them were piss poor. A lot.
Yeah,
a
sure.
lot.
Some are also
That's a
going.
good number, right?
99.
A lot of comics struggle in general. A lot of them, though,
Yeah,
it's like
comedy's
this is
hard.
if you weren't being watched, meaning you're not publicly tweeting this. If you're talking privately, your stance would be the most obvious, normal take. But since you know you're being watched, you're like, let me say the opposite of what everyone's saying. It's not what you actually believe.
What do you mean?
Like if you had to like
performative.
Chris Rock, Will Smith, you'd be like, the easy and most obvious take is don't ever hit a performer.
Right.
Or
But then some
anybody.
people are like, well, you have to, they try to think of some other thing to say because that's too obvious. But
Yeah.
obvious is not wrong.
There's that, but I mean, with the Louis C.K. thing, like there was, for sure, there was a whole movement trying to move the ladder. You know, whatever your spot was on the ladder,
Oh, right, to
there
get
was
up
guys trying to move to get ahead and trying to push a lot of these toxic men.
It
to
happened
the
with Lee and
side.
Callan. They're like, sweet,
Yes.
more spots for us. I saw it from the store comics.
There's
They're
a-
like, sweet, more spots for us.
There was also
Ugh.
there's a thing about like you move up, and this is what Tim Dillon put on his Instagram post. And I was like, I think that's exactly what I'm saying. That's one of the things that I didn't like about it. It wasn't that like, hey, his behavior's gross. He should have never fucking done that, which pretty much everybody
It's
says,
like, I want
including
that.
him. Everybody
Right.
says it, including him.
He
That's
did
not.
say that.
That's not
He
what it is.
wrote a fucking letter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what it is. What it is people that see him and they've been watching him murder in
Yeah.
a way that they can never murder.
Oh,
Nobody can.
I don't like him, so put me digitally into the movie he was already in.
Ah!
Instead of like, no, I want no part of this.
Tim had a great tweet the other day. He was like, stand up.
Who was it? What reporter? There's a reporter that was interviewing a pro wrestler.
Snowden.
No. And he said he was saying that it was fake.
Fake.
And the pro wrestler clipped him upside the head and dropped him.
What?
And he got up. That was just an open hand slap. And he slaps him again.
Fuck.
Who was it?
Ray Schultz, Andrew's brother.
David Schultz.
No. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
This is
wrestler.
it.
That's
Yeah,
the
I think
wrestler.
That's
fake.
Andrew's
This
dad.
is it.
What's that? Is that fake? Huh? What the hell's wrong with you? That's open hand slap.
Geraldo's
huh?
or Geraldo?
No, it's not Geraldo.
Oh, two of them.
Is that Geraldo?
He's like, all right, I'm out.
Looks like Geraldo.
Who was that?
Yeah, just watch the
Yeah,
whole
it's gone.
fight, dude. Just watch the
I
whole
know who
fight.
it is. I just can't remember.
David Schultz, that's reporter.
See if
Oh,
he-
there he is.
Stossel. That's what it is. John Stossel.
Ah.
That guy. So the guy goes on to be like a legitimate journalist, right? He just got cocky with
Yeah.
a big giant guy.
He thought there were barriers that weren't there.
Yeah, he decided that he could get away
Everybody
with
thinks
something.
this is fake.
But I think that fucked David Schultz's career up. Didn't
Oh,
it?
sure.
He said he stayed in character because Schultz says McMahon told him he had to stay in character, and he goes, "This wasn't character."
You know who loves that
He said
video
he
is Will
decided
Smith.
it was true to his character to slap the guy upside the head twice for calling him a fake.
Yeah.
Stossel was knocked on his ass and ran away from the dangerous situation. Fuck yeah, it was dangerous.
Yeah, I was thinking.
So he
I
wrote
was thinking
this.
the same
But you
thing.
should have said that.
He filled that
So
out.
if he told Schultz to stay in character, I mean, that still doesn't mean you're supposed to assault reporters.
Twice.
Yeah.
Remember the Chris
It's like-
Everett?
But I guess
Yeah.
he would in character, though, right?
Jim Rome.
Remember the Jim Rome Chris Everett?
Yeah,
kept
so
calling
he did.
Chrissy
Calls him
Everett.
kept
He goes,
calling him
he goes,
Chrissy
I bet
Everett.
you won't call me that to my face. Bet you I do.
Pull
Chris.
it up.
He goes, "Do it again.
Pull it
Do
up.
it again," and I'm gonna.
Bet you I do. Chris.
Chrissy.
He flips
Chrissy.
the table. and
Chrissy.
justifies
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Kept
I
calling
see
Chrissy.
that. That was a great one.
That was Jim Rome's thing, right? Piss people off?
Yeah, but it
Jim
was like
Rome's
these
on the
two.
show.
good
By the way,
Jim
Jim
thing.
Rome's fucking
Check that. Chris
incredible.
Everett. Good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
Now 2 years, actually, Chris.
Well,
Chris.
you know what? Let me say one thing. In that game, how many sacks did I have that we came back and won?
How many sacks did you
How
have?
many sacks?
Well, see, but this was back in 1989.
Oh, that was
See,
about
you may
six.
have even been Jim Everett back there, but somewhere along the way, Jim, you ceased being Jim and you became Chris.
Well, let me tell you a little secret. That we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time,
I already did it twice.
You call one more time. We better take a station break.
Well, it's a 5-minute segment, or 5-segment show. We got a long way to go.
Well, we do.
We got a long way to go.
We do.
I'll get a couple segments out of
Well,
you
it's
before.
good to be here with you, though.
Well, it's good to see you
because
too.
you've been talking like this behind my back for a long
But
time.
now I said it right here.
Right, exactly.
Well, we got no
Well, I
problems
think
then.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
You gotta respect
God.
the balls.
No, fuck that.
He's shouting to his face. He was
Jim
letting him off
Rome
the hook.
rules. Jim Rome's
He was
fucking
letting him off the
nice.
hook. He
Jim
kept saying
Rome
to his
rules,
face,
but
you won't
that's
say it.
pussy shit.
He had to. He had to say
It's
it again.
pussy.
From who? Jim?
From Jim, any fucking reporter talking shit on an athlete sucks, dude.
I don't think it's good, but I think
Just
it's
straight up being like, you're a pussy now. It's like,
You got to be able to say a athlete is weak. Or
Why?
he's not stepping up. That's your job.
Ari's a
as
hater.
sports reporter.
I think they both did it right.
As a sports reporter,
Mel Gibson was right about you guys.
I think Norman's right. Norman's right. They both did it right because he had to do something. Everett had to do something, and he had to say it. If he said you're not going to say it, they were both, and he
I
didn't
bet you-
hurt him.
Yeah.
Right.
He
He just
didn't
shoved him
hurt him.
over.
He could have killed him
Yeah, he
instantly.
could've killed
What
him.
if he started raining punches down on him? He
I
would
mean-
have crushed his skull like a grape.
Yeah.
He did do something. I think Rome's like fucked up by that. I think Rome hates that.
No.
I think Jim Rome hates that clip.
I'm
I
sure
think-
he
I
hates
think
it.
Jim
brought it on
Rome's like
himself.
embarrassed about that.
I'm
Doesn't
sure he
like it.
hates it.
Well, that's on him.
It sucks when reporters. That was back then. Now reporters are very pro player.
Yeah.
Back then they used to be very like shut up and dribble
Right.
all the time.
Stephen A.
This guy's
Smith
a
will still
pussy.
go hard.
But that's his brand.
That's his brand. But you
Yeah.
have to be able to go like, the guy sucks. He's not going to step up in big moments. You got to be able to say that as a sports reporter.
Yeah, you gotta be
He
able to say
just
suck
said-
up there.
That guy just says
Yeah.
wild shit though. A lot of those guys, they say wild, they have hot takes, and that's how they stay act, and it makes it
Yeah.
fun.
It's fun.
The
That's
reality
a
is
I
great
it's
agree,
like-
it's fun. I'm not
Even
saying
if
a
you're
hot.
like fuck him,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's not a hot take. It'd be like going on and being like, "This guy's a pussy."
right.
Sure.
That's fucking. You're a reporter, dude.
I'm
Shut
not
the
saying
fuck
it's
up.
right, but I like that he stuck with it.
So what does it say? It says Jim Rome says he regretted pushing Jim Everett's buttons. What I learned from that is I didn't have to do it 3 times. Rome said in 2003. He said, in retrospect, I didn't know he was that angry. Putting him on the show wasn't my idea. Did we get this guy on a plane and fly him in so I could badger him and call him Chris and make it horrible for everybody? No. There was a good interview to be done, and it didn't get done. And that,
Yeah,
and
That's
it's
true.
Good point.
That's true.
Yeah. He was
That's
like,
a good
I had
point.
to be a fucking man for no
but he
reason.
probably was
Give him
never
Florida Devil
confronted.
Cat.
You got it,
Yeah, but
Fatty.
Bodega Cat's good.
Thank
By
you.
the way, Jim Rome, he's one of those guys that he's like Tim Dillon. Like you could just nasty.
Oh, just
Like
keep
sitting
going.
down by themselves, just like
Really?
I could listen to this all day.
Oh, good for him.
Jim Rome's
That's-
fucking
That's a skill.
nice. Yeah,
I've never listened.
it's funny. He's
Still
funny.
not because I'm not like a sports guy. I
Dude,
don't
he
really
does
pay
it. He
attention
does
to
this
sports.
thing where he won't talk shit, but if somebody calls it, like let's say, all right, Charlie Weiss, he was Notre Dame's coach. He was a fat guy. Somebody would call in or text and be like, Charlie Weiss is fat. He would be like, hey, we don't do that stuff here. We don't call people fat. I don't think that's funny. I don't think it's funny to sit around and say Charlie Weiss is a big fat ass.
That's pretty funny.
Like, he does this thing where if somebody else
You
says
fucking
it,
stupid watch.
if somebody
Oh my
else says it,
Sorry.
what is it? What's the alarm? It's
I don't
it's
know.
Friday.
It's
For every hour.
He has no idea how it works. It's
No idea.
hilarious. It just
Keep
keeps.
going. Didn't mean to
You're
heckle you
fucked up.
with a Timex.
Imagine like torturing yourself like that, putting something on every day.
never know when it's
gonna
gonna be.
randomly be.
Just
No
turn it
idea.
out.
It's a random. It does that once a
He
day.
never figures
I like
out
the
how
way
to
he
set the
looks.
time.
I like the way he looks.
He keeps it
Nice
on.
watch.
He never figures out how to set the time.
Yeah, I got the time in Russia.
To horn teeth. You know they have those. Be better if I stumble through that.
The
But
Asians.
there's like a lot of people have that thing with rhino horns
Grinds
because
it up.
it's not even good, but it's the idea is that rhinos are so close to being extinct that if you're one of those motherfuckers drinking rhino tea, you're living on top of the world.
I don't like that.
It's prestigious.
Are you hanging out with those people?
It's an Asia thing.
I told you.
Actually, now I like it.
In
Henry
some parts of Asia, they
David.
like, and it's only like the creepiest of the creepy people. It's not a normal thing.
You don't see black guys doing that stuff.
There was a place somewhere, I think it was in China, where this guy wrote this story about going to this place, and it's like an exotic thing that only happens once a year.
Sounds
But
like
they
China.
serve them endangered species.
Oh,
Whoa.
So they sit down and protected species, I should say. So you sit down, you can eat like lion, you can eat a gorilla, like
Dodo burger.
yeah, wild shit. I forget
and
where
so
I
it's like
read
the
it.
people, like, it's the Squid Games people.
The problem is, you
Right,
read something
yeah.
like that, it might just be some asshole journalist who thinks he's cute, who's
Yeah.
going to make up some story about, like, how much documentation do you have to have about an
can't-
anonymous
Yeah.
Right.
place in China where they're serving gorilla?
You can't trust anything you read.
No.
It's hard right now.
That's,
Pretty much
that's
zero.
disinformation.
hard.
You hear that,
What?
Gupta?
It's hard.
You're not allowed to claim
It's hard to know.
disinformation.
Oh.
You can only be accused of disinformation.
I thought it was misinformation.
Well, we're finding out now that all that shit that people got kicked off of YouTube for, the fucking CDC says now.
Isn't that weird? It keeps flipping.
Well, it's going to keep flipping until the truth comes out. Like, there's a lot of what people already knew, like people that are experts in certain aspects of it, like that it's not dangerous for kids, or that
Right.
a lot of the people that are getting it really badly are obese. Like, these, everybody knew this. But if you said it for a while, it was a real fucking problem. Like, you get eliminated and removed from platforms. Now, all of a sudden, Jake Tapper can say it. They can say, you know, how many people were hospitalized with COVID or because of COVID. Like, if you went into the fucking hospital and you had a broken leg, what are they saying? Are you saying you're in the hospital because
Right,
you
where are
have
these
COVID?
stats going? Yeah.
Or did you break your leg?
Can I just
and when
ask to make sure I know the right numbers?
yeah. Well, it's like
No.
they're starting to come clean on that now.
But they
It's
never
almost-
seem to go, hey, we were wrong about that.
No.
Sorry,
Yeah, they just
buddy.
move past
just
it.
Yeah, just keep
Well,
going.
that's what I do. And
in
you
their
don't.
defense, the
What are you
science.
talking about?
In their defense, the science
Literally.
changes.
The science change, but it just say the
Yeah, but
science
just go, okay,
changes.
hey, turns out we were wrong, everybody. I said that
Yeah.
earlier.
But here's
now
the
we'll
other
trust
thing.
Take your tweet down at least.
They're
Right.
not allowed to question the science, and that's where things become a
That's
problem.
weird.
Like, the science changes, but sometimes some scientists have already anticipated that it's going to change. And they're like, this is new stuff. But if you say it too soon, people get mad at you instead of just examining
Joe,
it.
can I stop you there? I trust the science, dude.
Me too.
Shut up.
I do.
You're pissing me off with this stuff.
I do.
You're fucking pissing me off.
Uh-oh. He's serious.
Are you
I love.
No,
No, I'm
he's-
getting,
he's
I'm getting nicotine.
Ew, what is those patches?
That was
I'm
the right
addicted
I
response.
to
trust the science,
fucking
too.
nicotine.
I love it.
Do you want a cigar?
No.
No? You don't like cigars? You want one? Ari wants one.
Yeah, if you guys do them. Yo, stop pretending to like cigars.
Come on, I love cigars.
Oh yeah, he does like cigars.
I love
He
them.
loves them.
Yeah, sorry I accused you of
Ari
faking.
and I have been smoking cigars for decades, son. Ever want one?
All right, you talked me into it.
What are we getting?
These JRE cigars.
But Joe, I am serious. Stop goofing off and joking about this type of
Can you
COVID stuff.
Can you snip that?
It pisses me off.
There's a,
Dr. Fauci,
shall we do it for you?
if you're listening.
Yeah, I'm on Team Shane.
Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, I'm
Hit me,
fucking
baby.
trying to hang out, dude.
There you go.
This is the best one. It looks like a slice.
I like those.
That's my
I
favorite.
like those.
Labia.
I don't want a cigar yet.
So many fucking good cigars.
So we got a show tonight, huh?
Yes.
Who's your guys' favorite?
How about last night?
That was great.
Hot
Hans
show.
What a
Kim,
lineup, dude.
Tom Segura,
Might have been
Ari
what-
Shafir, Mark Norman,
we're
Shane
talking about today.
Gillis, Tony
Tony.
Hinchcliffe.
Talk about today. Best lineup in the world that day.
100%.
100%. Tom
Could use,
Segura.
It's an awesome show.
could use some diversity.
Then we got
Oh, the Asian.
Hans. I'm
Yeah.
technically a Jew. Tom's a fucking Mexican.
I'm
All right.
technically a Jew.
Good point. Not according to them. They don't claim you.
They don't like you after you abandoned them.
To take off. I do not talk much to my old friends.
Oh, really?
Let's put it straight in
The
our
old Jews?
relationships.
What are they doing?
Is it an issue?
Eating at one of very few places to eat.
Just that
New
white
York.
one is that white one is a lighter too.
What are they
Oh,
up to?
you know what? I gotta fill that one.
Scheming,
Yeah.
plotting.
Scheming, plotting.
Plotting
Making- I think-
the next big win.
Don't be hating that they're making that money. This is
Sure.
what no one can say
Why do you think
about Jews. Here's a big thing about Jews.
Love it.
How many fucking people that are Jewish have won a Nobel Prize? I mean, it's astonishing.
Yeah, man.
Massive
who's-
amount.
like,
Percentage-wise?
Yeah. If
I
you,
know
if
there's
you, but
It's
Hitler won
almost
that.
like we're
if
the
you're
ones voting.
looking, if you're looking at like a characteristic, like
Who's
of,
giving
like,
out the prize, dude? Who's voting for the new That's what you never forget.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
There's no Jews left in Norway.
It's just Jews voting. They're like, you know who's the best? Us again. Wow.
That's the best Jewish place ever.
Oh my God, it's us again. Wow.
Christopher Walken.
It's like
Wow.
You've like combined Woody Allen with like some sitcom star. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
You couldn't help but make it like a little more
And
redneck.
the Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize for Best Guy goes to us again.
We have one of those massive amount. That's fucking dead on though. That's gonna be an issue.
There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Well, I feel left out, dude. You guys waited till I packed one of these fucking tight ass suits.
No, I'm gonna
Yeah,
miss it.
both at once.
Now it's too much nicotine. My heart is close to exploding. My heart is on the brink.
Is